Hey guys, Dre here with the Return of Baldylocks, the road to 513, and I'm coming at you with another update on all the things, training, how it's going, that sort of thing. So I went climbing yesterday. I was scheduled to go climbing outdoors yesterday, but then I had to make the call to kind of come inside. I've been watching dogs over the weekend. Just a bunch of adult stuff that I had to get done, so made the choice. But anyway, I've talked about that before, where, you know, it's one of the cruxes, as it were, of like trying to get back to climbing 513 or climbing hard. As an older fella, you know, you got stuff to do. Not as easy to get out and not as easy to prioritize climbing. Again, when you got jobs, relationships, dogs, kids. For my partner, I don't have kids, but my buddy does. All this stuff. Anyway, so we went to my regular gym, G1 Climbing Fitness Center, over here in Broomfield, Colorado, and I've got a bunch of clips from our day. A couple things about climbing in the gym that still just make me think about, right? Like, the ratings are so skewed, especially from like I would say mid 510 and easier. Kind of all feels the same to me. It feels like we're like 5'8", basically, whether it's 10B or it is 5'8", or even 5'7", even 5'6" feels like 5'8". And I don't know if that's true for everybody or if it's even always been true for me. And I can explain that. Like, I don't know. I remember like 5-6 years ago when I kind of did start getting back into climbing, and I did step back into the climbing gym. I was only doing the climbing gym, or going back to the climbing gym, to help me with my endurance and just training in general for ice climbing. Now that I'm specifically training to climb harder rock climbs, you know, I don't know, like I certainly get on more harder routes now than I did 5-6 years ago. Because when I was in there training specifically just for ice, it was like all I wanted to be doing was climbing. I just thought the act of climbing itself would help with endurance, especially with ice climbing. You always have two jugs, right, to hang on to. And so I would target easier routes and just try to get a lot of them in to my sessions. Now I'm actually trying to climb harder in the gym. So that's what I'm saying. Like, before I was avoiding harder routes because I was just looking for mileage. Now I'm actually wanting to climb harder routes. And I think 510 A or B felt hard when I first got back to the gym, but certainly not now. It seems pretty easy. So maybe there is some growth there and some improvement, and maybe my body is getting more fit, and all this effort hopefully is paying off. But I don't know. There's something for the comments maybe. Like, how does your climbing gym feel to you? Like, do you climb a lot outside? Does everything below like 10B feel about the same? Or is that different for you? That'd be awesome for the comments for this episode. Yeah, those are just kind of things to think about. We did do pretty well. That's another thing about the gym. I just feel like it's like some routes, if they are a little reachy, again, with all my handicaps from all my broken bones throughout the years, that, you know, some routes are just a lot harder for me than versus others. And that could be true where it's like, I could try an 11A and it would just be reachy enough that I couldn't do it, or not do it first try. And then I can go to a 12A, which is not reachy, and maybe it like caters to my strengths. Maybe it's on a vertical wall versus overhanging. And I might actually on-site the thing. So it's a little bit hard to gauge that way in the gym as well, where, you know, I might on-site like I just said, might on-site a 12A if all the things are just right about it, and it works exactly with how I climb and my restrictions and my handicaps and all that, versus 10D that's like reachy and overhanging and super pumpy, then I might not do as well. But anyway, so there's gray area there. I guess that would translate outside too. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. Let's check these videos out. I put the rating. I did try to speed them up just a little bit, so it's not just like watching someone climb, which is not super exciting. At least with the camera stand just on the ground, you know. So that's why I did recently buy a drone. I am still in the process of trying to figure out how to consistently make that camera work. Like the other day, I was messing with it. I did add a SD card to it. I think that's going to be a big help. But when I added the SD card and I had the drone was on, I had it sitting on my coffee table while I was kind of like looking on YouTube and trying to find out how to operate this thing. It was literally recording like the books that it was sitting next to on my coffee table. I noticed that later, and then I went outside and flew it a bunch, and I was kind of flying around the dogs, and it was kind of fun. I was hoping the video camera would catch them because they were playing with it, but they didn't know if they should run from it or try to catch it. Kind of cool. It would have been awesome video had my drone actually done that, but it didn't get any of that video, but it got plenty of video of it just sitting there. So anyway, back to the drawing board on that one. I definitely have a lot more work to do to figure that out. But I think once I do, it'll equal much more entertaining videos and much better clips and just interesting footage all around. I think it'll be a lot better with cool angles and getting up high and kind of going into the climber and out and all that stuff. So anyway, but here's the videos from yesterday's climbing adventure. Even though it was an indoor climbing adventure, still tried to learn, still tried to train, still tried to grow. So check those out, and I'll meet you right back here in just a few minutes. right, guys, welcome back. Thanks for checking those videos out. If you kind of look closely, I sped them all up about the same percentage-wise. And I do feel like I move about the same speed and the same confidence and consistency and the same flow as I do on 5.8 as I do on like 5.11, or maybe not 12. There's a 12A in there. I didn't do very well on it this time. Fell pretty early. However, that was in another video, another attempt I did on it, maybe a few months back, and I did pretty good. So I don't know. It's just all over the place sometimes. But anyway, yeah, it was a good day. Again, we got some good training in, if nothing else. And I feel like every day that you spend climbing, whether that is in the gym or it's outdoors, you do get stronger, you do get smarter, you do get more fit. So I've been focusing lately on things like hydration too, really trying to get those 2-3 Nalgene's in every day. I'm getting close to 2.5 somewhere has been my average for the past week, I would say. And then I've been reading this book I wanted to tell you guys about. It's called Adapt, and it's by a gentleman named Chris Hampton. And he had climbed 100 513s, but according to the book, that started off as, at one point, he was looking to climb his first 513, just like me. So I've really enjoyed this book. It's got a lot of great inspirational stories in it. And one of the things I really, really like about this book is I can really relate to it. There's many things he mentions in here and says where it's like getting back into it for him, like 5.8 was hard, or he was falling on 5.10s at the gym. And I've been through all that same journey. So it's really cool. It's a good book. If you are trying to climb harder, it doesn't have to be 513, but maybe it's even harder than that. Maybe you're looking to do your first 514. But anyway, big recommendation here, Adapt by Chris Hampton. This thing is awesome. And yeah, check it out. Anyway, that's about it for today. And thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Remember the comments. Talk about how those indoor ratings feel to you, if they're about the same, if they feel easier, or if they feel harder. Let me know. I'd appreciate that. And yeah, like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. Until then, I'll see you on the next one.